Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman joins us on the phone. Sir, great to have you back with us on the show.
Hey, thanks. It's good to be with you.
You are in the news this week because you are calling for school resource officers to be in the schools in Loudoun County, in the 62 elementary schools there. First of all, why isn't that the case now? Why don't we already have school resource officers there? And tell us why you're calling for this.
Well, right now we have school resource officers in every middle and high school. Leesburg Police actually handles the ones in Leesburg, but we have all the rest. So we've got dozens of school resource officers covering middle and high schools. One of the things that we do have is DARE officers that are able to kind of cover in between their classes and everything, about one DARE officer per every 8 or 9 schools when it comes to elementary schools. But we don't have any dedicated school resource officers at the elementary school level, and we'd certainly like to go in that direction.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. As a matter of just like protecting the students first and foremost, it's not uncommon to see, unfortunately, in the aftermath of shootings or when they stop a shooting from occurring, that the assailant or would-be assailant will often target the most vulnerable schools. And quite candidly, the youngest students are the most vulnerable, aren't they, Sheriff?
Sure. You certainly saw that with Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, and then Sandy Hook, Elementary years before that. So it really is. You just never know. This can happen anywhere at any time, and what we want to do is make sure that our children are protected. And you just don't know when it could happen and where it could happen. So we want to make sure we're doing everything in our power to keep our kids safe.
How important is that relationship, especially for a young person, to begin interacting with police officers and getting to know them as a positive force in the community?
I think it's great. We got the National Association of School Resource Officers award for having an outstanding school resource officer program back in 2019. And a lot of that has to do with the interaction that we have. I think a lot of people just tend to think that, SROs are there, sitting by the front door with a gun in case somebody comes in to shoot it up or something. And that's not the case at all. We're very, very engaged all the way through. I mean, we help certainly at the elementary schools with the DARE curriculum, in the middle schools with the DARE curriculum. We're working now with the schools on fentanyl presentations across the board at the high schools. And so we're looked at in a couple of ways as role models, as counselors, as people that can help provide direction to the kids. And so it's really it's an overall great relationship to have, and it's great for the kids to not see us as, they want to. It's good to have them see us as friends and not just as law enforcers, because we do so much more when it comes to that. Education, like I said, and with the drug programs, the fentanyl programs that we're doing, we're like on the ground floor doing everything we possibly can to educate and protect the kids.
Do you find that the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors, the school board, are they receptive to this idea? Do you know in these early days?
Well, we've certainly been able to expand the program when it came to school resource officers in middle and high schools, and we did try to make an effort this time around, not for middle schools, but to just kind of grow the program a little bit, because we're really pretty tight on the staff. People calling sick or whatever, they might go a day without coverage or minimal coverage, that sort of thing. But we have in 2019 we proposed the idea of school resource officers in elementary schools. That basically got shut down. I mean, it really is. It does cost a bit, but if you look at this blue ribbon panel that was convened by Dr. Spence, with the Loudoun County Public Schools, the top priority, there were 11 findings that came out of that. The top priority was school security, and the question is, how do you get there? I mean, and I know they're kind of looking at different ways to do that, whether it's unarmed school security people, whether it's armed law enforcement people that can do, actually engage in so much more. And so it depends on how you really want to configure this thing. But I think we certainly want to try to get the ball rolling again in this. I think it's the best thing for the kids, best thing for the parents and the teachers to just know that they're safe, know that they're well protected, know that we have a great system when it comes to like emergency management, and if anything goes wrong, we can just kick that right into gear, and we're all trained identically. So I think that's very important to make sure that they feel that they're safe and that we have a stable environment and we know what we're doing there.
Yeah, and that's one of the only options really to get a good guy with a gun into the school, because Loudoun County not pro-American enough to arm the teachers, are they?
It's challenging at times dealing with as you've seen over the years here, Vince, with the Board of Supervisors and the school board, but we're doing the best we can under the circumstances.
I was just curious. I wanted to know. So, but yeah, no, I do. They seemed, obviously, the Loudoun County leadership there seems comfortable having Loudoun County Sheriff's Department protect the middle and high school. So it would stand to reason that the elementary schools would follow. And so you mentioned money, though. That really is the issue, isn't it? So you would need both funding for this, and then I would assume as a result you would do some hiring to bring in the officers necessary to take care of these schools.
Yeah, sure. That's what we would do. I mean, the benefit that we have, quite frankly, is that we work. We work with the schools, we work with the boards, the school board, the Board of Supervisors, but we also answer directly to the people that we serve. As an elected official, that kind of gives us a different perspective on things, and really brings some balance to the way that we get things done. And it is a challenge because we would need certainly the schools behind us and the Board of Supervisors to fund this, and most importantly, the citizens of this community that see that it's a really important thing to do. So, we have to work together. It is expensive, and I'm not saying we just do this in one fell swoop. I think we've done things certainly over the years very incrementally, and you can do this in stages and maybe do it in clusters and start that in that direction and then kind of expand it from there.
Can you envision that there are certain elementary schools where it would be a priority to start with first, that certain schools more desperately need a school resource officer?
I think that's something that we'd have to evaluate. Really sit down and get into the weeds on that. If we were able to expand this, where we would go first. I don't know that it would be. It'd be a little premature for me to commit to anything here, but certainly we want to go where we think the kids need the most protection.
And Sheriff Chapman, you mentioned, of course, you're in an elected position. That gives you the benefit of having to, talk to voters and work with them and convince them you're doing a good job. What are you hearing from them? Are they supportive of this? Because obviously this involves spending government money, but you've got to have some parents out there that have a view on this subject. What are they saying?
We get, certainly we get opinions across the board on this, and I see a lot of that comes in. But I would say the majority, certainly of the parents, the people that comment on these issues, are supportive of this idea, and that's why it had come up before, and that's why it's coming up again. And I mean, what you don't want to do is wait until you have an incident, like what happened in Uvalde or Sandy Hook or several other schools that are having some, people that are bringing guns to schools at very young ages. We want to make sure that we're on top of this, and that the safety of the kids is paramount. And I don't know that there's parents in this county that would really disagree with that. We want to protect our kids. That's really what we have to do.
All right. So what are the next steps for you, Sheriff Mike Chapman? Obviously, you've made your wishes known. Will you be addressing Loudoun County officials anytime soon here?
Well, I think the first thing to do is this panel came out. I think the recommendations have not yet been finalized. We wanted to make sure that the Blue Ribbon panel, that they understood where we came in on the security of the schools, not just security officers at the schools, which we don't disagree with, but the importance of having actually trained, sworn people that are certified under Department of Criminal Justice Services, law enforcement officers at the schools, because we can do so much more and have just a variety of capabilities there. So we'll work with the panel. We'll see where that goes, and then we'll just take it step by step and then try to get this ball rolling again.
And does your office screen the security of the schools in Loudoun County every so often?
We don't. I don't believe we screen the people that they hire. They hire those like the private security people independently.
Right.
We do work with them, and we work with the school security, the people that are over top of them. So we do have a good relationship with them. And if there are any concerns or whatever, I'm sure we'd hear about them, and so I think we're okay there.
Got it. So you don't go do check how the entrance and exit procedures at the school and the door locks and the cameras. That's not something you do on a routine basis.
No, I would say that we do a lot of that. I mean, our school resource officers are very engaged with each of the schools that they're there. We do active violence incidents. We do all kinds of stuff. We just recently did a reunification process with the schools to have, to take it one step farther than just going to a school and addressing the problem at hand, but making sure that we could take the students and place them in a place where their parents could then come pick them up and keep everybody in one place and keep them safe.
All right. That's Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman. Sir, thank you very much. Good to have you with us today.